We are, of course, a minute early. That's my habit, just so I can give some people a little bit of a chance, and it'll notify you that we're here. We have to start doing things this way again remotely as much as possible. You know, at some point in our lives, hopefully, these COVID restrictions will be off, and we'll get back to being able to meet and eat food and play cards, whatever, and just get together and support one another. Right now, you know, this is sort of what we have to do. You can always call here at the hospice home. You can call me or email me. I always use the email address for this is bobthechurchbuilder@gmail.com because it's easier to remember. But and some of you I'll be contacting by phone. And if you see me moving a lot, it's because I'm in a chair and I tend to swing and fidget, you know, because I'm all ADHD. You know, it was funny. I was in Frankenmuth a couple of years ago at Bronner's. You know, and I love the Christmas store. And there's a display that they had set up on a table and had all these blinking lights going on it. I'm walking towards this thing and I start cracking up because it is so stinking true. I was headed for the blinking lights, and I broke out laughing right there. At least I was laughing at myself. But you're welcome to laugh at me too. That's fine. But what do we got here? I think it's time to go ahead and do this. I am open to ideas. If you guys have anything that you want to explore, I am sure not the end all, the know all. Or if you have something that you would like to share your own self, I think that would be great. As awesome as I think I am and humble, I am not the only one who has something to say, and I'm sure not the final expert on any of this. We just sort of muddle through it. But you know, the idea is this is bereavement support. You know, this isn't therapy. That would not be appropriate. But we are here to support you through your journey, and we support each other. I don't like things to change. I hate change. I want to do things at the same routine every day. You know, I get up at a certain time, and that is, I think that's part of the ADHD thing too, is routine is important. But I've never liked change, and I've said this before. If I go to a restaurant, I don't need a menu. I know what I've had there before, and I'm not changing it. I look at a menu and then I say, why did I waste my time with that, and I order the same thing? Unless I'm in a bad circumstance. If I'm in a bad circumstance, well then yeah, I want change. I don't want to continue going through the junk, through the hard times. I want to change that. Here's the problem. I usually can't change the circumstance. And you can't either, as a general rule, because things happen that are beyond our control. We didn't choose to lose somebody that we care about. That was due to some other cost that we couldn't do. If we could have changed that, we certainly would have. We'd have never let these people go because we love them. But I can change my perspective in my relationship to that bad circumstance. That is extremely effective. That we can do. And hopefully today we're going to give you a little bit of a tool so that you can do that too. I've heard people say, and you've probably heard this saying, someone asks you, how you doing? Well, I'm doing pretty good under the circumstances. So here's my question to you. What are you doing under the circumstances? The circumstances are going to be there. That's something I think you figured out, that through this life, there's problems. Oh, there's lots of joy to be had, but there are problems. And we're not going to change that. From the time I was a little kid, I'd complain that something wasn't fair. And what do moms tell their kids? Well, life isn't fair, and that's true. And we're not going to change that, but I can change my perspective and the way that I look at those circumstances. I'll give an example. There was a young boy, and this was a long time ago. I forget what the sickness was or what the symptoms were, but he was going to have a spinal tap. And if you know anything about those, and I don't know if they're the same way now, but it's kind of a painful thing to have, a needle stuck in the spine, especially for a little boy. It's hard to get him even to sit still through that because it hurts. And imagine being a mom holding the hand of your little boy or little girl as the doctor is getting ready to, in their minds, hurt them. But you know that it's necessary. And she comforted her little boy and said, now listen, the doctor's going to do this. Here's what's going to happen. It is going to hurt. But he's doing this so that he can help you get better. Because we want you to get better. And this is why for right now, this has to hurt. So they did the spinal tap, and he was a trooper. And the little boy, when it was done, tear in his eye, looked up at the doctor and he said, thank you for my hurting. Oh, how sweet is that? See, he knew what he was going through was bad, but his perspective was he understood that this is a necessary thing to go through and actually became thankful for it. I know right now, next week is Thanksgiving. The holidays can be tough. For all kinds of reasons. We used to, for Thanksgiving, we had our traditions. We used to go in and take our turkey dinner in with us to the stadium and go watch the Lions game. Now, there's some pain and misery right there. Got tired of paying all that money to watch them lose. But it was fun. This was a tradition. This is something that we did. And the holidays can be pretty tough. I'm going to give you a guarantee. And I'm going to need you to trust me on this. You will get through this. For those who this is your first holiday without the person you lost, without your loved one. Sure, there's going to be some sadness, but I guarantee you will get through this. One of the ways that we're going to help you do this is we're going to help you refocus, not on the circumstance itself, because we can't change that. There's going to be an empty spot at the table for Thanksgiving if you get together, and of course throw on all the lockdown requirements on that, it really messes everything up. But I like the way that someone had posted that. Because you can have 25 people for a funeral. So they said that they're having a funeral for their turkey. All are invited. Refreshments will be provided. That's pretty clever. But, the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas are filled with so many traditions that sometimes the holidays can't live up to our nostalgia that we have, because we look at, well, this is the way we used to do it. And that was great for that time. But don't let the way that you used to do things be a bondage and rip you off from the joy that's waiting for you during these holidays. And here's how we're going to refocus. And the reason for it, I'll give you an example. I may have told this story before. I'm getting old. I repeat stuff a lot. When my kids were little, there is no greater feeling as a dad than when you walk into the house and the kids come running up to you, after a long day's work. Daddy's home, and they're all excited, and they come and hug on you and hang all over you. I love that. I absolutely loved it. I remember one time when they were little, walking into the house after working all day, and they were sitting in front of the TV. I walked in the house. They didn't even notice that I was there because they were just focused on the TV. I thought, well, this ain't happening. So I walked in front of them, hit the power button, turned off the TV. All of a sudden, the light bulbs came on. Dad, you're home. And then I got my greeting that I wanted. Here's what we need to do sometimes. We need to turn the power off. Maybe we'll help turn the power off for you so that we can get refocused on what's really the important thing. And the best way that I know to deal with the holiday lonelinesses is to be thankful. I know that sounds corny. I know that we've all done the obligatory thing where you sit around the table and everybody goes one by one and tell us something you're thankful for. And then everybody tries to make up something because you're put on the spot. You put me on the spot and I go blank. I have played the piano literally for 55 years. I know thousands and thousands of songs. If I sit down at a piano and someone says, "Bob, play something," I go blank. I instantly go blank. And I remember sitting around, the table. Bobby, when I was a kid. I still have some family that calls me Bobby, but name something you're thankful for. Of course I couldn't think of anything, and I'm thankful for family, and whatever. It's a good habit to get into. It's a good tradition to do that. Once a year is not enough. This needs to be a daily thing. There was a priest who said, the root, and I'm going to read this here, the root of joy is gratefulness. It's not joy that makes us grateful. It is gratitude that makes us joyful. Man, is that ever true? Joy comes out of being thankful. And I know right now we can be focused on only the thing that we lost, the relationship that isn't there anymore because of the loss. But I bet that even in all these circumstances that you're no longer under, because we're changing your perspective on that, you can find something to be grateful for if you really look. It's my habit when I got ill, almost didn't. It was close to death, and for some reason, God had mercy on me and spared me. And I remember I started this in the hospital. I woke up, first thing out of my mouth is, I'm a Christian, so that's my faith. So I would say, Lord, thank you for letting me be part of another day. And I started doing this as a habit. When I did this and it became a habit from doing it so much, I glean joy from that. I really appreciate, man, all that's gone on. I get to be part of another day. You guys have had some bad days. We all have, but some of you more recent than others because of the loss have had some bad days. And I want to encourage you with something. Right now, every bad day, every bad thing that has come against you, you have beat. It hasn't beat you. You're still here. You're still here to watch this, to talk about this. You have not lost. You're winning this. You have overcome, you have beaten every bad day because you're still here. Sure, there'll be more bad days coming, but you know what? You're not gonna be under the circumstances. You're gonna change your perspective. You're gonna get through these bad days, and you are going to find joy. I guarantee that. Let me give you a practical tip related specifically to Thanksgiving. Something that we can do, because one of the things that helps me is new traditions. Holidays are special. I can go back and think of all the Thanksgivings and all the special memories with family. My Uncle Danny always sat at the head of the table. All the family was together, our aunts and uncles, cousins, and he had to have the drumstick. Well, Uncle Danny has been gone for quite a few years. So we start new traditions. Those were great. Enjoy them. Enjoy the memories. That's a good thing. That's a healthy thing. But there's new traditions. One of the new traditions, I'm just going to throw out a suggestion for you. If you're trying to get through those first, because those first are very difficult to get through. The first Thanksgiving, the first Christmas, the first birthdays, first anniversary. All these things are difficult, but you are going to get through them. These bad days are not going to beat you. And here's one thing you can do specifically for Thanksgiving. You can do it at Christmas too. Around the table, leave an empty spot, an empty chair, and at that place setting, put a candle there and light the candle. That way, you are still honoring the memory of the person that you lost, and you're still honoring that, and you're still remembering them. I lost my mom a couple years back. I miss her terribly. Thanksgiving with mom. Of course, no one knows how to cook for their boy like mom does, and she always made something that was just special for me. And she did that for some reason. She made us all feel like we were the favorite one and was special. And it was going to be different. Mom's gone. Those Thanksgivings will never happen like that again. That's right. But I miss my mom, so I started some new traditions. And although I miss my mom, I'm still having turkey. I'm still going to have some turkey with gravy on it. I'm not going to allow something from the past to rip me off from all the joy that's waiting for me. And you've got joy waiting for you. Someone had said that they are thankful for the struggles. And I like that. You've been through some struggles. Without the struggle, I would have never stumbled on my strength. You have found some strengths you didn't know were in there. Oh, even though you have days that you feel totally alone, totally defeated, you have found in yourself, deep down, some strengths that you did not even realize existed. Someone had said, and I love this, everything has changed. Remember I don't like change? Everything has changed. And yet today, I am more me than I have ever been. Let me say that again. I am more me than I have ever been. Do the new traditions. I probably told this story, but I'm going to tell it again because that's what I do. About on my mom's birthday, and this is the new tradition I started. My mom's favorite color was purple, which is my favorite color. And it's funny. I was adopted when I was 4, so there's no genetics there, but that's my mom. And I always joke because they would introduce me to someone as I got older, and I'd put them on the spot. Which one do I look like, my mom or my dad? I look like them, don't I? And people would try to be all polite, and they'd sort of stare. And I'm 6'5", my dad's 5'9". Oh yeah, I can see it, and they got a kick out of that. But I like messing with people that way. But in this, I always got Mom purple flowers on her birthday. Now her birthday is February 29th, so she only gets a birthday every 4 years. But so we celebrated it on March 1st. Always got, for years and years and years, I got purple flowers. Now, I am a florist by nature. Our family had flower shops, and You know, I used to put out lots of arrangements, and I make the best bows ever. And purple, you know, I would even sometimes make them for my mom. But that was hard when Mom passed. What am I going to do? I always got Mom flowers. And I think I got more joy out of getting her the flowers than Mom got. Oh, she always bragged to everybody about it, but I loved being able to do something for Mom. And one year I decided, I got to do something here. And I went and bought some flowers. And I come into the hospice home here, and there was this sweet little old lady in a room by herself, and she didn't have much for visitors. And I walked into the room and I sat down, and I said, you know, did I ever tell you about my mom? Well, of course she starts smiling then, because you got a young man. I'm going to use the word young man, so don't argue with me on that. Talking about his mom, you know, she perked right up. And I said, oh, you would have loved my mom. She was just the sweetest, the nicest person, and she would have loved you too, you know. But your mom's gone on to heaven, and I didn't know what to do, because I always got Mom purple flowers on her birthday, and it meant so much. Mom used to tell everybody and brag of how, you know, her son Bob always got her flowers, never forgot. And I said, you know, with Mom gone to heaven, it didn't seem right. I've gotten such a habit of buying flowers and for her that it didn't seem right to stop. So I bought these purple flowers. And I said, you know my mom would really love it if you would enjoy these flowers for her today. Oh, of course, she just lit right up, and you know, she took the flowers. So that's been my habit since. Someone somewhere is getting purple flowers. That's my new tradition. It does a couple of things. It helps somebody else, and it meets a need for me to still remember someone I love that I lost, and still honor them in some way, and it brings joy. So remember, everything has changed, and you're no longer under the circumstance, because you're going to change the way you look at that. Because today, right where you're sitting, you are more you than you have ever been. So thanks for listening to me ramble for a little bit. We'll meet again here, and again, you can always call me, or bobthechurchbuilder@gmail.com, and would love to chat with you. In the meantime, my wish for you today is that you have joy and peace, because there's joy to be had. God bless.